Hey guys, in this video I am going to show you how to install and configure OpenLDAP server on RHEL7 or CentOS 7 with detailed step-by-step instructions, and document related to this session is mentioned in the below description. If you feel something I have missed or you wanted something more on that, please leave your comments and do subscribe our channel to not miss any updates. And you are watching LearnItGuide.net tutorials. Basically, LDAP is commonly used for centralized authentication. For this demo, I use two machines. One would be my server, that is my OpenLDAP server, and the node name of it is server 1. And other one would be my client, and the host name is client 1. Alright, so what I do, I am going to install and configure OpenLDAP server, and I am going to create a user on this OpenLDAP server. What will happen? Once I integrate my client with my OpenLDAP server, the users who are here will be get authenticated from my server to client. Alright, so I don't create any user over here. I will be creating all the users on my server. So when I log in using my username from here, it will go for the authentication to my OpenLDAP server, and it will get authenticated, and it will allow you to log in over here. Prerequisites for this demo I have done so far is I had, as I said before, I have two nodes, right, on which I have installed CentOS 7 64-bit on both the node. Also make sure both machines are accessible, and make an entry of each host in host file for name resolution, or configure it in DNS to resolve the IP if you are going to work on with IP. Alright, and I have enabled the M repo because we are going to install the packages for OpenLDAP on both the end, server end as well as client end. So enable the repo, and to prevent any issues while setting up services, we don't need to get any issues, further issues. So I have disabled IP tables completely. Steps involved in this configuration is, first, all these steps are at the server end. Alright, we are going to do at the server end. First, we need to install the required OpenLDAP packages, which is OpenLDAP, and we need to have a root password for administration purpose for OpenLDAP, and we need to configure the OpenLDAP server configuration for the as per our infrastructure, and we need to give some privilege access. After that, we need to start and enable the OpenLDAP service, that is SLAPD, and we need to configure the LDAP database because it has its own database to maintain the authentication and other things. And we need to create a self-signed certificate so that the client and this server will have a certificate based request. Also, we need to create some base objects in OpenLDAP, which means the standard format, which is object. Alright, so what are the things we need to maintain it? For example, email ID, phone number, username, first name, last name, those things. That is called object. Also, we need to have create a base.ldif file for our domain, which means LDIF in the sense logical data interchange format. That was the format being used in the OpenLDAP server. Also, alright. Then finally, we need to create a local user, which means at the server end, we are going to create the user, and we'll import that local user, which means the local user, why I mentioning in the sense, if I create a local user, it will be stored on etc password. Alright, now we'll import that local user into the LDAP database. Alright, finally we'll test the configuration, how it works. These are the steps involved at the server end for OpenLDAP setup. This is my server. Alright, the first step would be installing the required LDAP packages. Alright, I use yum to avoid dependencies. So the command and the packages are m-y install OpenLDAP. I'm going to install all the packages of OpenLDAP, as well as there is a package called migration tools that also need to be installed, because we need to migrate local user from etc password to LDAP database, right? So we need these packages. So I'm just installing it. Alright, the installation has been done. Now we need to create a LDAP root password for administration purpose. Alright, this password only to manage your LDAP stuff. The command is to create LDAP password is slap password. Just enter. Just type some password for OpenLDAP. Alright, so it will give you the encrypted format. What you have to do is just copy this completely. Alright, copy this and keep it aside on your notepad or in some file. Alright, just copy this. Now we do the OpenLDAP configuration. Alright, so OpenLDAP server configuration files are located under /etc OpenLDAP slap.d, and there is a folder called cn equal to config. This is the directory where OpenLDAP configurations are located. Alright, here you could see a file called OLC database hdb.ldf. This is what the main configuration file for OpenLDAP database. Just open this file. Alright, here you could see many entries. What you can do is, here you need to do some changes on these variables. For example, as per our requirement, okay, so you need to do some changes on OLC suffix. Here you need to change your domain name, right? Domain controller, DC in this is domain controller, mydomain.com. If you are in the domain called mydomain.com, then your setup suffix should be like this, mydomain.com. Okay, I'm going to change this as per my requirement, as well as OLC root distinguished name. This also need to be changed. Alright, at the last you need to give your encrypted password which you have been created recently. Alright, so I'm going to do these modifications on this. Alright, at this moment assume that my domain would be lanetigate.net. Alright, lanetigate.net. So I am going to give this domain controller as lanetigate then net. Here as well, who is my root DN? Let it be the manager, and here as well I am going to change it to lanetigate net. Right, just come to the last end. Here you need to add few lines. One is for to define the root password. Okay, colon the complete password of your slap password. Right, now we need to specify the certificate file where it has been located for this domain. Alright, this is the entry. So all these description, everything been mentioned in the parameters changes and documents related to these are mentioned in the description. You can refer that. Alright, so these are the two variables. One is OLC TLS certificate file where it is located, and key file for the certificate file is located here. I have not yet created this certificate. I will be creating it on this location. Alright, before that I am just mentioning the path over here. Alright, just save and exit from this file. Alright, now we'll give some access privileges for monitoring purposes. All right. That file also located in the same location. So here you could see a file called OLC database monitor LDF. Just open this file. Alright, here you need to do a few changes on this area, OLC access. Alright, so what I'm going to change over here is, this is the thing I'm going to change. Alright, because it is still pointing to the old domain. Just change this to land entity guide net. Just save and exit from this. This is enough. Okay, let's check this configuration. This is the command to check the configuration. Just do this one. Just ignore this checksum error. Alright, only we need to consider this config file testing succeeded. This is only the expected output. Ignore these checksum errors as of now. Alright, now we need to enable and start the OpenLDAP service. The service name is slapd. Alright, systemctl start slapd. This is a command to start the OpenLDAP service. Done, and I'm just making it enabled so that it will be start on reboot. Now the main part, that is to configure a database for OpenLDAP. Alright, so what you can do is, by default we have some sample database. You can use that and just customize it. That is going to be an easy one. So there is a sample file under OpenLDAP -servers db config.example. Yeah, just copy this to var lib LDAP db config as this name. Alright, just copy that example file to this location. Right, done. Now we are going to add few LDAP schemas in the sense predefined format structure. Alright, so I'm going to add that LDAP schemas, then only your LDAP will work properly. So to add these schemas, the command would be LDAP add -y external -h LDAP I local file, that is etc OpenLDAP schema. Okay, by default you will be having all these schemas under etc OpenLDAP schema and cosine.ldf. I'm going to add this schema, that is cosine schema, on my database. Alright, so command to add this is the command. So what I do, I just add this cosine. Alright, if everything is okay, you will get this message as adding new entry without any issue. If you are getting this, we are good to go. Alright, now the cosine schema been added. Now again I'm going to add one more, that is NIS schema. These are the basic schemas which need to be added, then only your client will be working properly. It's been added. Now there is one more schema, that is inet org person. Done. These are the three schemas basically we need to add. Once it is done, I'm just going fast. Okay, all the documents and commands are mentioned in the description. Just refer that document. Now we need to create self-signed certificate. Alright, because in the step 3 we have specified a certificate location in the main configuration, but we have not created it. Right, that is what I'm going to create now. The command is to create the certificate is this one. Using the OpenSL command, you can specify the LDAP certificate file as well as the key file, the same location what I have mentioned in the database. Done. By default it will prompt you to give some basic information, country name, organization name, such things. So I give India, and state Chennai, locality Chennai, and organization name I give Lanity Guide, and organization unit name let me give DC Ops, and server name. Alright, so I just give OpenLDAP server 1, my server name, OpenLDAP server name. Done. And email address, alright, I give this. Done. Alright, now let's verify whether the certificate has been created or not. Yes, I could see 2 files. Alright, now we are going to create base object in OpenLDAP. Okay, for this base object we need that migration tool. We have already installed that. So we could see few files under migration tool, user share migration tool. You could see a lot of migration tools. This is very easy for us to convert our local user to LDAP users. That is what we use this one. Alright, for this, to make it effect, there is a configuration file in this location, that is the same location. What I do, okay, user share migration. Here there is a file called migratecommon.ph. just open this. According to our domain name, we need to do few things. Go to line number 71. Here just change this domain lanityguide.net, right, as well as this line. Right, also go to 90, line number 90, and here you just change this to 1, so it will be get effective, the extended schemas. Now just save and exit. Done. Now I am going to create a base LDA file. Base LDA file in the sense nothing, the basic file where I am going to define my format, how my database need to be maintained. Alright, so this is quite easy. Just what I do, I just create a file under root as base.ldaf. This is a temporary file. Okay, I'm going to create. In this, this is the content I have pasted from my notepad. Okay, so what is my domain controller and how the structures to be for manager, for people, for group. These are my format. Okay, my domain name is this one. As per your domain name, you can just replace with this. And manager, what is his role, and what is people's, and what is group. These are the things I have mentioned. This is my format. Alright, and OpenLDAP is case sensitive as well as it's very risky files. So if you do a small mistake, for example, if you do a small space, it cannot view in this file, right? This also will give a problem. It will give you syntax errors. It will not authenticate it properly. So many issues will be there. So be careful while you do paste. Okay, just save this file and exit. Let's create a local user. Okay, so what will happen if I create a local user, for example user 1 and user 2? What will happen? It will be created in etc password file, not on LDAP database, right? Alright, we have created the local file users. What you have to do is, you have to, alright, I have not set password. Let me set it. Give some random password, as well as for user 2 as well. I am setting the password. Done. Right, we have created 2 local users. Now Let's filter out these user from etc password, because we need a valid Linux user only, not all the users, because etc file password file have all the users. We don't need all the users, only the valid Linux users, right? So I am going to filter only that user from above 1000, all right, from password file, and I am just appending that output to root password file. As we have done, there is a file under file called base.ldaf under root, right? Same way I'm going to filter out all these valid Linux user and keeping it as a single file, that is password file. Same way do it for group as well, because group also has groups, we don't need to miss that. Done. Okay, now we have a different files. Now let's convert these individual users file to LDAP data interchange format, that is LDI format. Okay, so how do I convert? We have a migration tools. Already I am in the migration tool only. So there is a migrate password.perl. This is the tool which is going to be convert passwords. Okay, from which file? Root password, because we have filtered out all the valid Linux user and kept as a single file. From that single file I am going to convert to like this in the LDAF format. Alright, this tool will convert your normal file into LDAF format file. Done. If you wanted to have a look on this file, this is just a output of your etc password. We have filtered out above 1000, right? So these are the normal text file. But if you have a look of this, in the LDA format it is in. Alright, this is what the conversion we have done. Alright, same way you just convert your group as well. Done. Now again the main part, that is importing these user what we have converted into LDF. We need to import these LDF things to LDF database. We have kept everything ready. We are going to import these. Alright, we have three different LDF formats. One is base.ldf, users.ldf and group.ldf. We are going to import all these things into LDAP database. Alright, the command is LDAP add, and these is the options, and cn manager, domain controller, LAN etiquette, that, and file is first one base.ldf. I'm going to import this. Now it will ask you the password. This is your LDAP password which you have created initially. If you type the correct password, it will verify the encrypted password what you have mentioned in the OLC database file. It should match. If it is matched, it will add your entry. If it is not matched, then the problem would be the password what you have typed is wrong, or the password you have copied has some problem. I might be you have left some space or something you have missed. Alright, now this is what the output I expected. It's added, it's entered. Now again one more file, that is users. Again type the password, it's done. There are two entries been added, user 1 and user 2, as well as for groups. Type the LDAP password. Yes, the two groups have been imported. Let's do a testing of this configuration. Alright, we have added two users, user 1 and user 2. How do I test? You should integrate your client to this OpenLDAP server, then we can check by logging into the individual machines. But before that, how do I check from the server itself? So the command is LDAP search -xcn equal to the username user 1 -d. Here you define your domain name net, right? If you see this, here it is giving the user information, that is dn user 1 group belongs to this group, planetdk.net and post groups, See, and user password is this one, encrypted password, and its GID number. Correct? If I give something wrong, it won't give you any output. Correct? If I give some correct, okay, I will give the user 2. If I give something good, correct, it will give you the format. So this is how we can confirm the configuration is working properly or not. Okay, now already have disabled the firewall, so no need to worry on that. So the LDAP configuration is done at the server end. All right, so okay, so now these users are existing on the local server itself, so their home directory also exists in the server itself. All right, so the server part is done. Now we need to go at the client end, and we need to integrate your client to your OpenLDAP server. So the every login authentication will be go through your OpenLDAP server. Once the user exists, then it will get authenticated. All right, but your home directory will not get apply over there. So what you have to do is either you have to export your home directory using NFS to your client, but configuring at the client would be the best way would be AutoFS. Everywhere we people will use AutoFS only, because when there is a need, it will mount. If you do at the FS tab auto open, it will be mounted every time. On all 1000 servers, it will be get mounted. I don't want that. Only when there is a need, only it has to be mounted, right? So use AutoFS and you can export your home directory. I will show you that as well. Okay, this is how we configure and install OpenLDAP server at the server end. In the next video, I will show you how to integrate your LDAP client to your OpenLDAP server, as well as I show you how to export this directory, home directory, using AutoFS. Thanks for watching this video. If you find this video is helpful, please leave your comments, hit like button and share with your friends. Thanks for watching this video.